point, that was around 11 something at night. That was the last point that we had any notification, any contact, anything dealing with Miss Rose in electronic wise. So at that point, we started looking into, trying to look deeper. We started digging into, into all kinds of different records, just still trying to look for clues. And still to this day, our investigators were working as hard as they could to try to look for different clues to give us any kind of idea of what her location may be. So that leads us all to this past Saturday, the 30th. On the 30th, we had a call come in from a hunter on Cheaha Mountain, which that area is part of the area that is open to deer hunting at this time of the year. But we were dispatched to a gated forestry road near mile marker 483 on Highway 281. This is approximately 5 miles from the Pinhoti Trailhead, 5 road miles from that Pinhoti Trailhead from the state park where she was, or where her vehicle was, where her vehicle was. So the hunter, once the deputies got there, the hunter had told the deputies that he had walked up on a campsite area, and him and a friend had seen, it appeared to be a deceased person in like a hammock style tent. It was a hammock with a covering over it as well as a canopy over it. At that point was when they called our dispatch. So at that point, Sheriff Daniel, as well as Coroner Adam Downs, as well as our federal U.S. Forest Service Law Enforcement Division, as well as Alabama Game and Fish, responded to the scene. We also requested anytime we have any type of major scene, we also request the Jacksonville State University Center for Applied Forensics to process the scene. At that point, we were led approximately a half a mile into this wooded area, which if we're looking at a map, and I do have a map that I will share with you guys once this is complete. But looking at a map, it's more of the southeast of the 281 intersect to this roadway that we were at. It's a logging road. It doesn't have a number to it. We were led approximately half a mile into this wooded area. At that point, we were able to confirm that there was a deceased person in this camping area. It was a hammock with a canopy completely covering the hammock area. Everything dealing with the campsite was under the canopy. And at that point, we started looking into possible clues of who this person might be. We were able to match the items that was in this camping area to some of the same items that we were able to look at in picture and video, or picture from Miss Rose's cell phone. It matched the backpacks and some of the different things and some of those pictures that we had released to the public. So at that time, we started looking into the GSU CFAF, started processing and looking through the bags, and was able to find an ID as well as multiple other cards that was belonging to Miss Rose. And like I said, there was other items there that belonged to Miss Rose that we were able to identify. At that point, it's still pending confirmation, and Coroner Adam Downs will be able to explain that process. So at that point, once CFAF processed the scene, the body was turned over to Coroner Adam Downs. At that point, we're still, as the Sheriff's Office, we're still looking into everything. Adam can give his side of the process, and then I'll step back in and complete this.
Right, so basically what happened Saturday after the scene was processed, we took the body to the Cleveland County Morgue. From that point, it will be transferred to Huntsville, to the Alabama Department of Forensic Science, where the autopsy will be completed. At this time, we're awaiting confirmation on positive identification of the body, and we are awaiting positive results as far as what the autopsy will give us as a cause of death. Any questions for me other than that?
At this point, how confident are you that it's Wendy Rose? I mean, the ID is there, the items match.
With the ID being there and the items matching, that's all I can tell you. I'm not gonna say that we're confident that it is her. We're waiting her dental records from Ohio, and that will give us a positive match as to whether it is or is not her.
At this point in time, do you suspect any foul play?
At this point in time, it's under investigation. I'm gonna leave all those questions to the sheriff's department as far as foul play goes.
Is there anything that would lead you to believe that someone did something?
At this point, no. But there again, that'd be a question that I'll let Chief Deputy Nolan answer there.
And could you help us out by saying and spelling your name
Adam Downs, D-O-W-N-S,
and your formal title?
Cleveland County Coroner. Any other questions for me? Turn it back over to Chief Deputy Nolan.
So, as I stated, I wanted to wait toward the last to give y'all, we do have kind of a layout, a map of where, of the locations of where the vehicle was compared to where this campsite was. As corner down, and I'll have this laid out for you guys to take a picture of here in just a second, but as corner down says, you know, in any death situation, any scenario that we're in like this, we have to wait for positive confirmation of identity through the state lab. So that's something that we always do. However, as far as the sheriff's office is confirmed, our sheriff's office, you know, we consider this to be very likely to be her due to the ID and everything, all the items that was there. So real quick, I want to specifically thank the following agencies that assisted in this case. Of course, the Cleveland County Coroner's Office, the Cleveland Calhoun District Attorney Lynn Hammond, our Cleveland County 911 Center, the Jacksonville State University Center for Applied Forensics, the U.S. Forest Service Law Enforcement Division, Lineville Police Department, the Alabama Game and Fish, and the Clay County Rescue Squad. Those are the ones that assisted on Saturday. We would like to also extend a special thanks to all the other agencies and their affiliates that assisted leading up to this day. There were so many that we cannot thank all of them individually, but we really appreciate each and every one that has assisted. We also appreciate the news sources for helping get the information out. At this time, I'm going to open up the floor for any questions. And we will try to answer any questions to the best of our ability.
What's your working hypothesis on what happened at this point in the investigation?
It's still all preliminary. We still have a lot of puzzle pieces that we're trying to put together. The one thing on this map that you can see is, you know, we're 5 road miles from where the vehicle was. We're half a mile off of Highway 281. And we're 3 miles from the actual Pinhoti Trail, through another roadway that was there. So we really don't know without witnesses, without electronic devices, without anything that could put us in GPS points as to know how she got to that point. However, that's something we're still working on at this point.
Is there anything that indicates that there was foul play?
Nothing indicates foul play at this time. However, you know, it's still under investigation. We still have to, you know, look at all of our evidence. We have to look at what the state with the autopsy. You know, we're going to look at all of these different variables to rule out anything that could be foul play. We want to ensure that we're as transparent as we can be with this case, and ensure that we're doing what we can do to ensure that we get an answer.
When you guys discovered the car, you found some notes in there that were kind of concerning about her mental health. That's what we were told
Yes.
earlier this year. Is that still a belief? You know, is that one of your...
It's still a concern. There is a concern just due to the things, the evidence that we've been presented this far into the case, that it is potential that there could be a mental health crisis. However, at this point, without hardcore evidence, you know, we're still putting everything together. To say for sure that's the case, we won't know until the autopsy comes back.
And do you have any idea what that less than 24-hour trip to South Carolina was?
We have followed up with that, and we've been able to confirm from the vehicle data some roadways that was traveled, but as to the business that was conducted there, we've not been able to confirm or anything with that.
The location where she was found, was it like off a side trail, or was it just off in the woods like a secluded place?
So we believe at the point where she walked into the area, it was like an old roadbed with undergrowth and everything that she could have walked down. But even that roadbed that she had walked down, she was approximately 75 yards maybe off of that roadbed into the wooded area, completely secluded from any type of trails, anything that would easily be accessible.
With it being so far off of that, do you think that if the hunting wasn't going on, it would have been a lot longer before she was found?
It would have made it very difficult. The covering that was over the entire campsite, and Sheriff Daniel and Coroner Downs can witness to this, is the cover that was over the entire campsite was a color that matched in with the ground covering, that matched in with the canopy and the trees. I think it would have been very hard to locate, from air, from seeing, I'm just very thankful for the hunter for being observant and being able to see that. So.
Can you describe again the area where she was found?
So she was approximately a half a mile, which would be southeast of the 281 intersect there at mile marker 483. Which is between the Blue Mountain Overlook and County Road 49 on Highway 281. And the descriptor of the area that we're in, or that we was in, was like a roadbed that went a half a mile into the woods. It was the terrain was very rough. And then once we got to location, she was approximately, 50, 75 yards off of that roadbed into another little wooded area there.
Is it possible that she intentionally did not want to be found based on your description?
I mean, we can always look at every scenario. We can look at everything, and that has been a question to us. However, without knowing her, without talking to her, knowing what her intentions was, we could not be able to confirm or deny that.
And did it look like it was the campsite that she set up?
It looked very similar to the pictures that we had retrieved from her cell phone device of prior campsites.
According to published reports, there was talk about she had some sort of a locator beacon on her. Was anything like that found? Or was it?
So her cell phone, as well as the GPS device that you seen in the pictures that was posted publicly, was with her. However, we have no record of either device being turned on. In our investigation, we kept a constant ping on the phone and kept a constant update on the phone to try to see, and there was no record of it being cut on. And also the GPS device, we tried all avenues to try to access that with no success. So at this point, we have possession of the cell phone as well as the GPS. We're going to try to look further into that and process that to see if it gives us any clues to the whole situation.
My last question is, have you spoken to her family? Are they, happy to have some kind of closure?
At this point, the coroner has spoken with the family. Anytime there's a death, we let the coroner speak with the family. We're very fortunate in Cleveland County to have Coroner Downs with us. He does a good job speaking with family and talking with family. So he has spoken with the family, and he would be able to comment on that if he wants to.
Yes, I have spoken with the husband, David Rose. We've been in constant contact with each other since Saturday. Naturally, he's relieved that if this does turn up to be Miss Rose, that they have found her and has closure. At this point, we're just kind of hanging on to see what the results of the positive identification is, but they do seem to be happy to have maybe be heading in the direction of having closure in this.
I wanted to ask you, what was the last date that there was communication that her cell phone pinged? What was the last date?
It was 9/24 was the last cell phone ping that we had.
And she was captured on, was it a liquor store that she was at?
It was Alabama Beverage Control Store, so yes, ma'am, that generally that's what they sell there is alcohol.
And if you could go back over the timeline from the beginning, was it, did you say the 5th or was it the 3rd of October that this all started?
The 3rd of October was when she was reported missing in Marysville, Ohio, but she had left Marysville, I think that was on the 21st, without looking at my timeline specifically, I think it was on the 21st of September. But the family was not alarmed. This was not out of the ordinary for her to travel and to go hiking. She was very seasoned and experienced hiker, so the family did not become alarmed until she didn't return back to work, and her work contacted her family.
And what was the date that her vehicle was found again?
On the 5th of October. Is there any other questions? Again, thank you all. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Can you leave that map out for us?